Praises to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushai B'Hashem, Chachrash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, Great Millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations. Yeah, I'm Salakia. To all the elect Akim, Walk, Wathim, learning, teaching, truth, and sincerity. All right, this is going to be another video through the Spirit, which is on the road, doing some thinking. And it seems I'm going to have to pull this video back out of the file. Wow. This comment blackened by time. Wow, that comment's 12 years old. So basically, this video, see, we're so far, we're past this now, but I just want to touch on this, because it's scoffing season, guys like Vocab and whatnot. We're beyond the fact of proving that we're the Israelites. That's just an undisputable fact now. You have people that, they want to talk their smack. Oh, we're crazy, we're making stuff up. Well, what about all the artifacts that show that we're Israelites? All right, there's this guy after camp, the brother, we had this debate with these Christians. One of them, and he was just like Vocab, he was trying to be studied up on us. He was like, well, y'all believe you're Israelites based on Ariah's dream? And I said, yeah. Based off of faith, we use the 12 tribes chart based off of his dream. And also the artifacts that reveal and show who we are, all right? So I'm going to have this video. I'm going to show a couple pictures, and then I'm going to put up a couple books on the screen. All right, you people who have a problem with us, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans being the Israelites, what about the artifacts that say so? What about the historians that have written hundreds, who went and made books several hundred pages long, several hundreds of pages long to prove that we're the Israelites? What about the scholars who have sat down and wrote these words down into books? What about the archaeologists who dug up these findings? What do you have to go say to them? See, you think that we're just a bunch of bum niggas off of the street. You think that we're just, I'm going to start with this scripture real quick. You think that we're just a bunch of bum niggas who started reading the Bible and started taking the book of Exodus too literally, all right, and stood up. All right, now this is Acts 4:13. It says, now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yahushai. And that's what it is today. They think that we're just unlearned men. We're out there bold, and the spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is dealing with us over here. All right, and so we're so far beyond this. Once again, we do these clips, because brothers enjoy doing these edifying lessons. But our elders and apostles, they laid down the groundwork of showing and proving the fact that we're the Israelites. Now in 2021, the two main things we're focused on, especially with teaching, making sure that you're living properly so that you can be a candidate for salvation, and making sure that you're breaking down the scriptures properly so that the flock can be edified. All right, those are like the main two tenets now. But this right here, it's milk, but this is, hey, you assholes, you can't convince me I'm not an Israelite. It's just a matter if you're going to burn in a fucking missile or not. That's what I'm waiting to see, is when these scoffers burn in fire. So let's let this play real quick. I got a couple clips.
Icons.
What's that? Who is that? Y'all got to explain that. What's that? White people hair doesn't fold over like that. Nor are they normally darker skin like this. All right, now let's say this. Okay, let's say, the black Americans aren't Israelites. Well, who are these dark-skinned people? Because obviously the fuckers that are over there in this land do not fit any of this. All right, at all.
Dating back to the 14th century, brought together from private collections across Russia.
It's very beautiful. It gives you goose pimples.
Look at
it's
them pictures in the back.
Exhibition.
It's an exhibition which feeds the senses. Everything is so grey outside at the moment, and here suddenly it's a feast for the eyes.
It's full of shit.
And it's a feast.
Look at those pictures. You can see the darkness of the skin at a distance. Vocab, go to this museum and figure out why these pictures are dark skinned like that. What the hell happened, scoffers? What the hell happened, scoffers? What is this? What am I looking at? Come on now.
100 years since religious icons started to be.
What is this? What is that? Whose hair can fold up like little cornrows like that at the bottom? With that dark skin tone. Whose dark skinned little baby is that? And whose dark skinned mother is that?
As works of art. Before then, they were mainly viewed as religious objects, often left blackened over the centuries by the passage of time and added layers of paint.
Oh, yeah. See, and that's Esau. He tried to give a little cover up. It's blackened because of layers of painting over time. Horse shit. And we all understand that, which is why this person said this in the comment over 12 years ago. 11 years ago. It's been 11 years. Yeah. It's still relevant to this day. Yeah, so I wonder where this person is at now. You know? Just the people blackened, but nothing else in the picture. Yep, yeah, how about that? Only the skin color got blackened, but the red roof didn't get blackened. All the other colors and pastels, whatever.
When we learned how to remove the dark layers, we discovered underneath an overwhelming beauty.
So listen to that. When they learned how to remove the dark layers. So keep in mind, y'all, these pictures the skin color may have even been darker than what we're seeing because they tried to brighten it up as much as they could. So they just admitted to cataclysm, the destroying and altering of images. That's what they just admitted to. They just admitted that they tried to lighten and brighten these colors up. So just imagine how much darker the skin tones truly were.
To an extent that it shocked André Matisse, who was in Moscow at the time. He said, it's here that artists should come to learn to paint, not to Italy.
And the people staring at the paintings don't look anything like the paintings. And Salakia, y'all, I keep pausing it, but this is getting aggravating at this point. We're not going to keep doing this with these with these people. Y'all going to see when the Lord come out the sky. You damn budding assholes. All right, you bloody bastards. All right.
Remain. Most were destroyed during the Soviet era.
Take that back.
But today, only a small number of these masterpieces remain. Most were destroyed during the Soviet era.
Most were destroyed during the Soviet era. Cataclysm. Why? Because they got sick. They got stomach sick of seeing these images. These Edomites' stomachs started rolling and turning when they kept seeing dark-skinned images of the Lord. They couldn't take it no more. Which also shows what? Because slaves aren't the people that paint images. Slaves don't paint images. So at one point we were ruling over Europe, and I have a book that's going to deal with that. The higher class, the aristocrats, the people who are in luxury and are at leisure are the ones that are painters. All right, painting isn't something that you need to move forward as society. It is something that you only have a luxury for when your society is doing well. So this goes to show you that we were on top for a minute, and that's when these images, and all the way back then, were put together. Look at that, man. That's the Lord.
These icons are the survivors. If museums hadn't saved them, they wouldn't exist today. There are 50,000 icons in Russian museums.
Wow.
Before, there were millions.
Wow. There were millions,
but now the future of this part of Russian heritage is up for debate. Are the icons best held by museums, or should they be returned to the country's churches?
Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Joseph, Mary, and the Lord. Look at that. Come on now. You can't make it and fake it forever. What they say, you fake it till you make it. Well, you're not gonna make it faking it. We are the people, and those people over there are not. I should end the video right here, but we gonna go a little bit more hardcore. We gonna keep going with it. All right. Look at that. Just stare at that for a minute. Take that in, y'all. That's what you've been lied to about your whole life. All right. The world's best kept secret is now out there. Hey, when you're praying, when you are reading the scriptures and you're imagining events happening, these are the colored people that you should be imagining. All right. When you read in Yahushua when he was walking around, this is the content of the character. All right. And when David was when David was warring and doing what he was doing for us, for the nation, this is how he looked, y'all. All right. This is us. This is our story. And don't ever let these devils convince you otherwise. We are not crazy. All right. So let's do this. Let's pull up some books. For these scoffers, all right, you have to address books like this, History of the Native American Indians by James Alder. All right, now I clicked on the summary, and when you go read the book, it's more plain. He's basically telling you that the Native Americans are Israelites that came over here and separated, but the summary doesn't go into exact detail, because they don't want to give that information so loosely. But just reading the summary, all right. It says James Adair was an Englishman who lived and traded among the southern eastern Indians for more than 30 years, from 1735 to 1768. During that time, he covered the territory from the Appalachian Mountains to the Mississippi River. He encountered and lived among Indians, advised governors, spent time with settlers, and worked tirelessly for the expansion of the British interests against the French and the Spanish. Adair's acceptance by the Creeks, Choctaws, Cherokees, and Chickasaws provided him the opportunity to record, compare, and analyze their cultures and traditions. All right, compare, analyze them to what? To the scriptures, and to align that they are the people. That's what they don't want to put in, because when you actually go read this book, y'all, that's what this book is about. Is the fact that when you go read the very first page, he's comparing them to the biblical traditions and how these people most likely were Israelites because of the traditions that they uphold. All right, now let's see what some of the comments say. Wow. Okay, just look at one of these comments. 10 lost tribes of Israel who spoke Hebrew. It says James Adair identifies the North American Indians as the 10 lost tribes of Israel and a nation of people who spoke Hebrew and had many Hebrew customs. You scoffers, address this. Vocab, come address this. Come address this. You talk all that shit, okay, we're crazy niggas on the corner, that's cool. Come address this. Alright, how about that? Asshole. This is Edomite, Martin Bennett. Straight to the recycling bin. Why? Because it's too much truth. They didn't want no more. They didn't want no more of that. Man, this motherfucker the devil, you know. And these people don't have no idea. Here we go. Let me see. Wow. Okay, look at this. Don't buy this book. Says the title is misleading. Silly me. I thought that this book would be about the history of American Indians. Instead, it is a weird, meandering, difficult to follow tale of how American Indians are somehow descendants of the lost tribes of Israel and are really descendants of the Jews. I find it hard to believe. Look at that, y'all. So when they're presented with the truth, he gonna downstar. Oh, well, I find it hard to believe because those people over there, they're already over. Yeah, get the fuck on. You know. See this? See, this is what. See, this is what vocab will do. Well, I find it hard to believe. You know, he'd read the. I find it hard to believe. This is the devil that we're dealing with. It says, in any case, I was interested about learning about the history of the American Indians, and I guess I should buy a different book. This book is absolute garbage. Don't buy it. Wow. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if this is a fake. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a fake account, because Amazon has fake accounts up to give up stars and down stars. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, don't buy this book. It's garbage. Why? Because they don't want you to know the truth. All right. If this book was garbage, it wouldn't have an overall 4 out of 4 star rating. You know, come on. But this goes to show you the truth is out here, but they don't want people to know. That's crazy. Let's look at another book. Let's look at another book. Right here. You have to address these types of things, vocab. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. The Origins of American Racism. All right, more specifically dealing with the Negroes and Latinos. All right, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. My apologies. Let me read this summary. I'm gonna end it with a video. I'm gonna get some scriptures in a minute, y'all. You know, Salakia. I just gotta get all this out. It says. Let me see. I want to start at this part down here, the second paragraph. It says, Lost Tribes and Promised Lands nimbly zigzags through space and time, doggedly chipping away at the myopic history of discovery and righteous conquest that has been reiterated for decades by the same ideological forces responsible for centuries of mythological prejudice and racial strife. So what this just said is that this book gets between all the bullshit that the so-called white man has been telling and justifying his racism. This book is actually getting to the bottom of why this man is being so-called racist towards us. That's all. That's what all those words, that's what all them fancy words just meant. Don't be confused by that. All right. It says, placing 14th century Spanish intolerance, specifically anti-Semitism, as the origins of racism toward African and Native Americans. Read that again. Spanish intolerance, specifically anti-Semitism, as the origins of American racism toward African and Native Americans. Why? Because we are the true Semites. So truly, anti-Semitism means that you don't like the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Why? Because we are the actual, and there are other Semites, but we are the children of Sem that would go on to be the Israelites. That is why these devils hate us, because we are the seed of the promise and they are the seed of the devil. All right. That's what they just said right there, in other words. All right. It says Sanders elegantly weaves complex threads of colonial economics, religious exceptionalism, and xenophobia into a heady and often infuriating thesis on the history of racism. And when you read this book, there's a certain excerpt out of here. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, of the explorers, they ran into a group of Indians that spoke, and I did the video on it from the brothers from LA. You know, let me see something. So now the brother to this channel, and this is gonna be a little bit longer of a video, y'all, you know, for maybe 30 minutes or so. I'm gonna let the brother read this page from the Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. Now vocab and all you other scoffers, you're gonna have to come disprove this part of the book. You're gonna have to come disprove these people who can speak multiple language, who traveled across the world, and who did things that your little simple ass couldn't. All right, so let's listen to this real quick.
Right, he was over here kind of finding out the story about us.
You know, here, let me get this real quick. Let me get because what we're experiencing is out of the book of Joel. Salakia, I just gotta make sure. I like to get scriptures at least every so often. Fuck all that free ball talking shit, you know. Joel chapter 2. Let me see. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll deal with this. This is Joel 2:28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And that's what we're experiencing. All right, the Spirit of the Lord is coming back upon us to know who we are. All right, it says we were going to discontinue from our heritage. All right, and like it tells you in Revelation 11 that we were going to stand upon our feet and these nations would be scared. All right, we are that valley of dry bones coming back, you know. So let's come back to it. Salakia. So there you go.
His name was Montesinos. Well, he had a woman who was an interpreter.
So Montesinos, go look him up, you know, vocab, go disprove Montesinos.
When he could speak to the Indians that he came across, and this is an account that he had when he came across our people. Okay, he says, upon hearing her words, they rose, and when he says they, he's talking about the Indians that they came across. It says they rose, went over to Montesinos, and were utterly astonished. Said, Shemai Yasharah Yahweh Allahayanawa Yahweh Achad, which is in the English tongue, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. They had recited in Hebrew the fundamental credo of Judaism.
What's it, Judaism?
Yeah, it's not Judaism, it's basically Hebrew.
So why would a bunch of random savages in the middle of America... Hey, I had to pause it right there. Why would a bunch of random savages in the middle of America be speaking some Hebrew to explorers that were able to translate and speak in different languages? Why? Because they're the children of Israel. Y'all got to come handle this. Scoffers, come handle this. Y'all got to come explain this.
Pressure video, you know, because
I'm going to go back to where, if I get back to it, let me see.
Can't understand. And they can reproduce.
Let me see. I probably went through that second address. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to let it. I'm trying to fast forward it back.
Right here. They left from the Eastern world and sailed into the Western world. And when you look at the bottom left, snitched on himself about it.
Okay? They were the tribe of Reuben. And that the tribe of Joseph lived in an island nearby.
Tribe of Joseph or the Puerto Ricans.
Yep. Yeah. So the thing is, and this isn't like just new or it's like something, you know, just came across, like you said.
Yep.
The Mormons, not only do they worship the white Jesus, but they also know that us Latinos, they know that we're the Hebrew Israelites, man. This is why whenever you get across a Mormon, they're extremely nice to the Indians and to the Latinos, man. They always try to give us blessings because they have a belief that not only do they know that we're the Israelites, but they believe that if they help us upon our journey to return to God, to be good, that they themselves will get blessed, which that's off.
Yeah, so that's not going to happen. But even the Mormons acknowledge the Latinos and Native Americans as being true biblical children of Israel. So you scoffers are late, and you're not up to date. All right, now let me get another clip. Look at these pictures. This is of people in Russia, of dark-skinned people in Russia. Look at the hair. All right, look at the hair texture. Look at the names. Those are Russian names. And look at us being over there. That's why we have Russian icons. All right. Vocab, other scoffer. I'm always naming him off because he's one of the big ones right now. But all these other scoffers, you have to address these things. Okay, fine. Let's say we're crazy niggas and spics on a corner. You have to address these pieces of evidence. All right. You have to address these things. Look at this. That's a sister right there. Look at that. That's a sister right there. Woman look like she'll argue you down to the ground. What you talking about? Fedorik. Tsar Mikhail Fedorik. Look at him. A nigga on a horse. Let's look at some more. Maria Ilyinichna Miloslavkia. Alright? She's a little bit lighter skinned. Come on now. And they tell you that they purposely would lighten up the images. Alright, after Esau got back. Oh, look at that Negro. What y'all talking about? They would purposely lighten up the images. Shit, you got an uncle that looked like that man. And this is from the brothers video, the second, I believe, the second in command of LA, the brother Barack, GMS Ancient Days 144. All right, right there. All right, hey, you know, it's getting to that point. It's not even up for debate no more. You know, it's not even up for debate. So I got these other tabs. These are two other books. From Babylon to Timbuktu, a history of the ancient black races, including the black Hebrews. You gotta come debate. You gotta deal with this. It says a history of the ancient black races, including the black Hebrews. This carefully researched book is a significant addition to the vital field of knowledge. It sets forth in fascinating detail the history from the earliest recorded times of the black races of the Middle East and Africa. You gotta come deal with books like this. All right. So is Rudolph R. Windsor a complete quack? He may be going off on certain things, but is this person 100% quacked in, you scoffers? All right, y'all got to address these things. Before you get to just talking that smack and saying we're crazy niggas on the corner, there's reasons why we believe what we believe through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Let's look at another book, The Negro Question, Part 4, which I've done several videos on. All right, come down to this part of it. It says, description, this book is about the three black kingdoms of Ireland, Britain, and Scotland, who were sold into the North Atlantic slave trade. So what? We were also ruling in Europe, and we were taken hostage and sold as slaves, not only in Africa, but out of Europe, which is why all of our images and statues were smashed down. All the nose and lips were smashed off of statues. All right. Says King Charles I. It says, I've also provided you with images of black Irish children who were sold into the slave trade. This book contains the testimony of Benjamin Franklin as he describes the black French, Spanish, Germans, Russians, Swedes, and Italians in 1751. I have eyewitness accounts from Benjamin Franklin, Professor Boyd Dawkins, and Dr. Albert Churchward. What does this book prove? It proves that the old world order, according to Benjamin Franklin, was black. This book is also the missing link between the two sciences, history and genetics. You scoffers have to come address these things. So was Benjamin Franklin a quack? Was Professor Boyd Dawkins a quack? Was Dr. Albert Churchward a quack? All right. We were dethroned, like it tells us in the book of Revelation. All right. When this man rose up out of the... here, let me get that real quick. And that's why we're dealing with this. This man completely distorted and changed history, y'all. You know, hey, that's why you have to ultimately just have the faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You know, for brothers and sisters first coming in, you may not fully understand everything, but trust and believe you are an Israelite. All right? Do not let these fuckers convince you otherwise. You are an Israelite. Revelation, we're going to start at 20:2. It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Esau, Edom fell. They went down. Rome capsized. All right. One of the main men who caused it was Septimius Severus, and this man was out of power for around 1,000 years. And when did he come up? Around the so-called Renaissance period. All right, so-called 1400s, and he's been holding it down since then. All right. It says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So this man was down for 1,000 years, and he came back up, and now he's back out here deceiving the world. And what's one of the ways he's deceiving the world? By lying about who we are and distorting history. All right, let me see something. Ooh, the dates line up very, very nice. All right, it says fall of Western Roman Empire. It says start date, end date, 476 AD, right? And we know that when you read the scriptures, the Heavenly Father doesn't always deal with exact numbers. All right, He may throw in a couple years, give or take. You can look at our captivity in Egypt for that. It says we were going to be there 400 years. We were there 430. So let's start 400 AD, right? Let's do this. 1300. All right, the 14th century. All right. So right there, that was that 1,000-year time period from the fall of him in Rome. Esau Edom is that devil to him coming back up. And when he came back into power, he started getting our dark-skinned behinds out of power and made slaves out of us, shipped us over here to the Americas to meet up with our brothers and sisters, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans. All right. And it all lines up biblically and with history. That is the true history. All right. That's the true history that this man has lied about. Now let's do this real quick. Let me see. Yep. This is something that a brother had sent in the group chat. It says figurine from Egypt of Semitic slave. Now look at that. The Egyptians had the Hebrews as slaves. Who does that look like? That look like your cousin that just got out. That's what that look like. That look like that's Kentrell that just got out. All right. Has the Jake beard, the Jake hair, all right, and the nose. It looks like they tried to knock the nose off the statue. Of course. Why? Because it's too telling. And that's him from the back with ropes around him. Come on, come on. I have friends that got hairlines like that. You know, your daddy got a hairline like that, with a beard like that when he decided to grow his beard. All right, so it's evident that we are the children of Israel. It's beyond evident. All right, so these are. I just wanted to show these pictures and these little clips. You know, it's not even up for debate anymore. Really, like I said, the two main things that we're going on now is, you know, having proper conduct, you know, Lord willing, so you receive salvation, and breaking down these scriptures properly, going into these prophecies, so that the elect, all right, and the 1/3 can be fed. But anybody trying to say that we're not the Israelites, y'all, double finger fuck them. Don't even pay them attention. All right, so that's about it. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahushai, B'Hashem, Rakakorash, double honors to the elders and apostles, Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, walk with them, learning, teaching, truth, and sincerity. And I'm going to say Shalom.